Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. AITA for not letting my husband's parents live in the house I own. When I finished from college and my spouse, 35 male, was well into his profession, I, 31 female, married him. We both have high grades and reside in a SEA nation. I'd always wanted to be an academic and get my PhD from a good recognized European or American institution, but I never had the chance. My husband decided he wanted an academic career as well and chose to pursue it. He already had his master's degree, so he went to the United States for his PhD, and he was living on a very low salary and way over his means. He had some funds from his previous job in a corporate environment, so he could also live off of that. I completed my master's degree in my own country while working a well-paying job and saved a lot of money. We live in a typical home, therefore, I lived with his parents and had no costs. In my nation following marriage, you are required to live with your spouse and his parents or wherever your husband permits. Following my master's, I was offered a very nice PhD position with a very good funding. I was still freelancing at the time, so I was making decent money. He returned to the nation with almost no funds, and at the time I purchased a property for the purpose of renting it out, with no plan of moving in, and began earning decent money on the rent. I've always wanted to do something nice for my parents, since my father was extremely poor in the beginning but still gave me with amazing possibilities. So I bought a better apartment than my parents and encouraged them to rent their present apartment to produce more monthly revenue for them. My spouse was unaware of this option. My husband's parents are upset with me since I have done nothing for them. I give his mother a monthly allowance for fun money and pay for the maid who does the cleaning, and my husband has no savings or assets. I told him it wasn't my fault. He requested to evict my parents, and I told him to kick rocks. He then asked me to put his name on the home deed, which I wasn't happy about either. He informed me that this meant divorce, and I reminded him that we don't reside in the United States. I'll still own everything, and he'll have to pay the dowry he owes my father. His parents asked if they could live in the home I own, which is presently larger than what we live in. I declined since it would entail losing a significant portion of my monthly income. I'm sorry for his condition, but I'm justified in thinking that if I put his name on anything, I'll have to share it. I'm happy to share his monthly salary, but he doesn't want to. I do bear his and my expenditures, but that's all. I am prepared to save money and purchase something for his parents, but it must be in my name. So AITA for not informing my husband about my gift to my parents and not providing him with any assets. Now, look at some replies. CM. He told me this means divorce, and I told him this isn't the US. I would still own everything. And he would have to pay back my father the dowry he owes. This may be the funniest threat I've ever seen made on this sub. Yeah, I knew exactly what he meant by that because one of his American friend had a divorce and split some assets. But in my religion and country, women can earn, but are not needed. They are there for the household work. I pay for the maid because of that, even though I started earning because of him not providing me with an income. So according to the law of the land, what husband earns is for everyone, but whatever woman earn and owns, she is the only one to reap the benefits. CM. This is an interesting arrangement. Strange to my Western sensibilities, but that is no matter. If I may ask, how do you feel about dowries in general? What about the whole living with his parents' custom? Just curious about other cultures. Dowries and mayor are two separate things. I had an arranged marriage, so my parents and relatives gave me dowry as in a way to start new life that included furniture for my room, some kitchen utensils, clothes, gold. I can sell it if I fell on hard times. These are gifts for the couple, but given by wife's parents and are the property of wife. Because we are religious and religion doesn't allow gift for men, as he can earn it does allow gift for your daughter. That is why it will be my property. As for mayor, it is for the husband to pay the wife. Typically, women don't earn and their savings are minimal, so these resources ensure that if the divorce happens, the woman will be protected and have something in her name. That is in case of husband's death too. My parents and relatives on my side gladly does this for every girl in the family to protect the girl. Story 2. AITA for calling out sisters, BF for potentially poisoning my BF. Yesterday I, a 25-year-old female, offered to prepare Christmas dinner for my family. My parents are growing older, so I feel bad sitting back and letting them do all the work. We also have the additional problem of my spouse, 32-year-old male, being celiac. I'm accustomed to preparing for both of us and ensuring that everything is healthy and gluten-free. My whole family is vegetarian/vegan. My sister, 20 female, has been dating her boyfriend, 21 male, for a few months. We asked him to join us for the holidays since he doesn't get along well with his family. We'd never met him before. So, a few days before Christmas, my sister called to tell me that her boyfriend had been moaning about being forced to eat meat/gluten-free supper. I told her that he was welcome to bring anything for himself and that I'd be pleased to prepare it for him, but that he shouldn't bring anything with gluten in it since it may make my partner very sick. Anyway, fast forward to yesterday, and I prepared the duck he brought first and set it aside to rest. He was hovering over my shoulder the whole time, smiling and commenting on how it must be strange to go back on my ideals. I told him I didn't mind and that I used to prepare some meat for my boyfriend before he turned vegetarian, as long as he paid for it himself. He comes back into the kitchen 10 minutes before I was going to play up the most tense moment, stating he's hungry because the meal is taking too long and wants to eat some of his duck. I was obviously upset since it was absolutely the worst moment, but I said all right. He was ready to go when I saw he placed the duck in a little bait. When I questioned where he'd gotten it, he answered he'd brought it with him. I rushed around the kitchen, clearing up all the crumbs he'd caused and tossing away any food that hadn't been covered. I was concerned and on the verge of tears since my spouse was not diagnosed with celiac disease until his late 20s and his digestive tract is in horrible shape. His doctors have warned him that the next gluten episode might land him in the hospital, requiring him to use a stoma bag for the rest of his life. We eventually go down to eat, and everyone in my family thanks me for cooking. My sister's boyfriend joins in, stating that he assisted with the cooking. I'm sorry to say that I absolutely lost it. I informed everyone that he not only didn't assist, but he also put my spouse at danger by bringing gluten into the kitchen. Everyone was shocked, particularly my sister, who had no clue he brought the bread. He refused to apologize and said he didn't see what the big deal was, which got him blasted out by my mom and dad. He ate, excused himself, and spent the remainder of the night in my sister's room. I feel like I'm TA for yelling at him in front of everyone, particularly considering he left home this morning and told my sister he didn't feel comfortable here. So, Ada, you're on Reddit. Update. Hello, everyone. I simply wanted to offer you an update. I hope you don't mind, administrators. Thank you so much for your encouragement and the prizes. It was great to see so many lovely individuals in the comments. There's some good news and some terrible news. The good news is that he is now my sister's ex. Not long after he departed, they had a massive phone fight in which he revealed that dietary restrictions are for attention seekers, and that vegans in particular are Nazis. He admitted to surreptitiously giving my sister meat goods their whole relationship, swapping fake meat nuggets for chicken, using meat stock instead of veg, etc., and chuckled that she hadn't been vegetarian for the entire 5 months of their relationship. She's been veggie from birth. We were all shocked, but grateful that he revealed his real colors so early in the relationship. My sister is doing much better now that it all happened a few months ago. She was more upset than upset, and we all rallied around her. She's glad to hear that the stomach issues she was experiencing at the time were most likely due to the introduction of new foods into her diet, rather than a medical issue. She was worried she might have early-onset celiac after comparing her symptoms to my partner. She hasn't had any intestinal troubles since they split up, so there's that. For those wondering why he isn't close to his family, it seems that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, since his parents sound awful, which is one of the reasons we all felt terrible for him at first. Anyway, thank you all once again.